but we're quite possibly even. By the way, I'm letting my money build up, but I can do that since I have a lot of larvae. Assuming that the game is even, I need to try to leverage some advantage, right? I can't just sit and hope that I win. I have to do something. I have to get something that will let me push an advantage. So that infestation pit is a key part of that, just like the lair was. Now I'm getting that pathogen glands upgrade. Looking at the production tab, we see he has also gotten an infestation pit, and he's also getting pathogen glands upgrade. So, wow, we managed to have exactly the same logic at this point in the game. And that was, okay, we're not going to win at this stage, so it's time for the next stage to commence. And that stage is infestors. Now, he makes a big mistake here and builds 3 infestors before pathogen glands hit 30 out of 80. That means that those infestors will not hatch with fungal growth ready. That's kind of like wasting 3 fungals. It's not quite so bad because it's only 25 energy, I guess, but it's a serious error to not make those infestors early. So I am going to see his infestors in a moment. He should not let me get so much information with this overlord. That is definitely a problem. I mean, it's not like he can't see it, right? He just sees it hanging out there. He's just not killing it. On the other hand, I maybe should think about killing this. All right, so I'm taking my third, and this is because I'm saturated. I feel like my economy is in great shape. I've got 3 hatcheries and good drone saturation, and I'm getting my infestors out. I feel great. I feel like I can expand now. I feel like it's safe, right? So in comparison to ZVP and ZVT, this is an extremely, extremely late third, but it's at a totally reasonable time given what's happening here. We're going to see some pushing back and forward. I decide I want to engage him here. I decide that I want to keep him from going down this ramp. I don't want to move up to the high ground and try to engage him there. It's something to consider because this is a nice position for him to be. So maybe I should have defended the high ground, but didn't feel like I had time. So he's going to send an infestor out to do some harassment, and this is a lot of fun. Just some fungal growth on these units, some green goop. Not too much. This infestor almost walks up to its death. That was a mistake. I didn't have vision here, and I clicked a fungal, and he just walked up. But Zapdos lets him live. This is a nice fungal growth. On the other hand, the funny thing, these fungals actually not really doing so much because these units can just burrow and heal up on both sides. Because burrow is out in play for both players, I believe. Yes, he thought my burrow was such a great idea. He got a burrow of his own. Now look, I went for this hive. Oh, interesting choice to go for hive. Why did I go for hive? Well, I had the infestation pit, and he had infestors too, right? I got infestors, and he got infestors, so we both have infestors. Well, okay, so it's a stalemate again, right? I need to do something. I need to leverage my advantage somehow, so I get a hive. But this was a sort of lapse in thinking on my part because this hive, I didn't really get it for some specific reason. I just said, oh, hive tech, that's good. Because if I go up and get my hive, then I will have hive tech, and I can use my hive tech to win the game. But I didn't actually decide what hive tech I was going to go for. So there's 4 options, right? And I actually went through these options in my head during the game. I said, okay, I can go for broodlords. No, broodlords are terrible in this situation because they're way too expensive, and I didn't make a spire. So why would I go for broodlords? Take too long, cost too much money. Not going to happen. Ultralisks. Ultralisks also not really that great of a choice because it's not clear that a few Ultralisks would provide a good advantage against this army. And you could only afford a few because, confusing my pronouns here, I am just on 4 gas at the moment. So, okay, adrenal glands. That's the third one. Adrenal glands are another option, but I haven't made any Zerglings. I haven't even gotten Zergling speed, so I'm not going to make adrenal glands, right? So the only thing left is I'm going to get this +3/+3 attack and carapace upgrades. Because you know what? It's just one of those, oh, screw it moments. You say, all right, I'm going to commit to roaches. That's it. I mean, obviously, we're both pretty committed to roaches at this point, but I'm taking it one step further. I'm saying these roaches, I want them to be my army. I want them to be around forever. I want them to be as tough as possible. I want every advantage I can get with these roaches. I'm going to get the +3/+3. And I think that this is a fantastic decision, but it's a very unusual decision because you just don't see +3/+3 upgrades certainly not a rush for +3/+3 upgrades in this matchup very often. Usually see players sort of muck around with Roach on Roach for a while, not really doing anything, but maybe one of them accidentally kills the other. Anyway, okay, so moving on. I make an enormous mistake here. Absolutely gigantic mistake. I send half of my army to deal with 4 roaches harassing my expansion. And he sees this, and that is his signal to move out with his entire army. And this is a really tough spot for me. And the only reason I have any chance in this battle is the fact that my economy has been better than his. And I actually just made a bunch of drones. So I'm at 54 drones. The only reason I can hope to win this battle is that my economy has been so good. But I'm going to need to start making roaches right away. And I have the money, and I have the larvae to do so. And you're going to see a lot of roaches coming out in just a second. Oh, a little bit late with those 10 being made, though. Looking at the units, he has 61 roaches. I have 52 roaches. And the upgrades are both 2/2. Okay, so how is this going to play out? He fungals my group here, or I fungal his group. To prevent him from moving, but he fungals me to prevent me from pulling back. So I'm forced to engage even though I don't want to engage. Because if you engage with inferior numbers, you lose more. So nice fungals here, preventing me from moving and attacking with these groups of roaches. Really nice. But looking at the production tab, we see I have 10 roaches coming out and 26 more making. So the funny thing about Roach on Roach is that roaches have such high hit points and such low damage that battles between them take forever. So you have all this extra time to send in reinforcements that you don't really have in most other unit compositions. So it's really interesting. I'm able to hold this, even though I didn't have my army ready until the last possible second, way past the last possible second. I still managed to hold the line here. So really kind of surprising and very lucky break for me that his economy was not quite in the same shape that mine was. Because definitely that's exactly the kind of thing that can make you just lose the game instantly. That's a gigantic mistake to just take half of your army and send it somewhere else. I should have expected to lose there, but I did not lose. And at this point, I know that since I didn't lose, I won. Why? Because he committed to a big attack and lost a bunch, and I'm getting my third up, and my +3/+3 is finishing. Now, of course, I don't actually know whether he went for +3/+3 or not, right? I don't know. But I can guess, and I guess no way. Nobody would do that. Nobody gets +3/+3. It just doesn't happen. So I'm basically, what's going through my head at this point is I've got this game. This +3/+3 is my ticket to a sure win because I know just how good that upgraded advantage is in Roach on Roach fights. Incidentally, I'm not prepared to quote those numbers right now because I'm actually not exactly sure how armor versus weapon upgrades works. So that's something I will try to figure out a little more, and probably I will mention those things in future casts because I have gotten at least one request to provide more numerical analysis of what's going on, which I think is a cool idea. Maybe it's not done enough, but it's hard. It's hard to do. Only TLO is really equipped to have all those numbers on hand at any time. So I'm going to move in with the roaches, and you've probably seen this kind of battle before. You already know who's going to win because you know how many advantages I have at this point in the game. But still, you should just sit back and enjoy this big roach on roach, intense carnage. Because, you should still have, even if you know what's going to happen, even if you know, you should still have fun. So let's just watch this and appreciate all the splashing and death. Nice couple of fungals going out there and a cool burrow, although he does leave a couple of roaches unburrowed. Going to get to pick those off, and unburrow's in a good position, but probably doesn't know about the upgrades. I'm going to melt through this army with those better upgrades and better numbers. His infestor goes down. I forgot to bring my overseer, so I actually can't see his burrowed roaches. But that's going to be it. Loses the queen and does call good game. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope that the analysis was of help to you. I thought this game just demonstrated how the flow of any matchup should really go, where you sort of expand when you can and continue to fight for an army advantage, and every time you cannot get an army advantage, you make a tech choice, and just continue to push to the next stage in the game. And at any point, if your opponent screws up badly or doesn't match what you have, then you're going to win. And this is sort of what we saw here. My opponent did not have those extra upgrades, and as well as not having quite the same drone saturation. So really the same as the other matchups, just a lot more volatile. I think a larger percentage of the games do end in one player screwing up and dying very early on. But I would like you to realize it does not have to be that way. You can play Zerg versus Zerg and make it to the late game, and it's awesome. So hope this was fun. Tune in next time, I guess. And this is ModuliStack saying bye now.